Quentin Cantera.
Paul Harding, he's on retainer. We talk to him every Thursday from Martin Harding and Mazzotti. How are you, Paul?
Good morning, guys. Good morning. I'm doing well.
1-800-LAW-1010. Paul, what's on the docket today? Let's pull out some briefs. Let's voir dire some paperwork. Does that make any sense at all? I don't think it does.
There's a lot of legal jargon, and you're throwing around, and it certainly gets my attention.
But it doesn't make any sense.
Well, probably, individually, those words mean a lot. Together, they're a little confusing.
Yes. Yeah. Paul joins us every single Thursday. We talk about some of the bigger trials going on. I don't think anyone, well, you tell me, were you surprised that Roger Clemens walks?
Right. That was an exciting week if you're a lawyer and you follow these things. Not after Andy Pettit's testimony. After Andy Pettit testified, it became pretty clear that this was a long time ago. There's a lot of facts that are unknown and can't be remembered accurately. And I always thought the jury was just waiting for an opportunity to make this case go away. No one seemed to like it.
Mm-hmm. I heard, the way I heard it was that Clemens' attorney brought McNamee's wife to the stand in some kind of genius move, the analyst said, and it just crushed any credibility. Not that McNamee had a lot, but crushed any credibility. Did you hear about this?
Sure. Again, reasonable doubt is the key here in a criminal case. You don't have to prove them innocent, which is the issue Roger's going to have to deal with moving forward the rest of his life, but you just have to prove that they didn't, beyond a reasonable doubt, did not prove guilt. And the more people they brought in, McNamee's wife, and I thought, again, Pettit was an absolute critical witness, the jury was you could just see them. They just started to get the idea that they cannot walk away definitively knowing, again, beyond a reasonable doubt, that he did this.
Paul, now I know you're a Yankee fan. If you just, take your tie off for this one.
Sure.
Don't you think Clemens took these drugs?
Well, I think there's always going to be this taint. I think people are going to look back and they're going to realize that it was an era that people in that sport, maybe all the sports, but had engaged in stuff. And there's so many examples of it. His name is going to be part of that, regardless of the outcome of this verdict. Clearly, they felt there was enough evidence to move forward. I don't think they're going to jump on the next opportunity to bring a case against an athlete who lies to Congress or allegedly.
Just like a jury's got to have reasonable doubt, we also have to have a reasonable acceptance of what we feel. And when he was practically in tears talking about, hey, I worked really hard for this career, I mean, I kind of felt for the guy.
You got to remember the ego, and it's not a bad thing. That's why they're great athletes. But, I mean, these guys see their legacy. These guys have a chance to live forever, and that's, with their statistics. Or in Clemens' case, the Hall of Fame, which Paul, again, as a baseball fan, I think he gets in, but I think he has a tougher time than he should to get in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if this doesn't go down the first time the ballot comes out, he's on.
Unanimous.
This may go unanimous. This may go on for several years, but I kind of agree, too. I think they're going to accept the fact that this era produced athletes who used some enhancing drugs, and there's going to be this asterisk in the back of the people's minds, but I think they're just going to they just want to move past this.
Sandusky going down?
Yeah. I think it's the sort of the exact opposite in terms of the amount of energy this guy brings into a courtroom. There's just too much evidence, too many people that seem to be consistent in what they say occurred when they were in the presence of Sandusky when they were young, and it highly unlikely not guilty verdict here.
How much of an effect is whatever the jury got to hear from the Bob Costas interview? I'm not sure if they got to hear all of it.
I think that cooked him.
Yeah, that's damning, right? You think back to when that happened, you're saying, what's he doing? He's screwing himself. Now we're going to watch him get screwed.
He needed a better lawyer, didn't he?
I'm certainly I'm in no position to make a comment on that, but I would just say this: there's no chance that the lawyer had wanted him to do that interview with Costas. He just did it. He did it without his lawyer's approval, no doubt. But at some point, as a lawyer, you do have to kind of duct tape your client, and even if they want to go do this to clear their name, it's going to have the reverse effect, and it clearly did.
It's Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti. You can reach him at 1-800-LAW-1010. We got 30 seconds left. I'm just curious, as far as Sandusky, he never took the stand. That's the right thing to do. You don't want to put him up there, do you?
No, no. If he took the stand, number one, it would have gone on for days. They would have had days well, I don't know about his direct, but the cross-examination would have taken days, and it would have just boiled him. So he did the right thing. He has no, he doesn't have to go on the stand. I think the jury always feels like, why didn't they come on? I would have gone on if I didn't do this. There's always that sense of it, so it's a risk. But in his case, no risk at all. He would have been boiled live.
All right, it's Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti. We appreciate you coming on, Paul. Have a great weekend, okay?
Okay, guys.
The voyeur
Have a
in
great
me,
weekend, too.
the voyeur in me would love to see Sandusky
I'd love
boil
to watch
alive.
it too,
Yeah,
but the lawyer in you would not.
Thanks, Paul.
Again, Paul.
Correct. All right, bye, guys.
Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti.
It's PYX 106.